What's good, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be doing some production, and I have a track that I want to work on here. So I don't have my MIDI keyboard connected right now, so I'm not really going to be using it. I'm going to be doing everything with the mouse that you see right here. So it's going to be something different, and why that is because I do have a MIDI file that I took from another one of my tracks that I was composing, and it's a chord progression. So I'm going to flip that chord progression and use it within this beat. So I already have a beat here with some drums that I created here, and again, as usual, all these drums are in my drum kits. I used my deep house drum kit, and then I also used my percussion, my mega percussion kit, to get a lot of these percussion. So I use those two kits if you're interested in these sounds. So this is how the drums are sounding like. So it's really nice and simple. I love the groove. The groove is perfect. So I took my time to really make this. But if you want an in-depth video on how to make drums, I can really go in-depth with just the drums only in a future video. You can comment down below. So as you can see, I have a disabled pattern that's right here at the end here. So I'm just going to turn that on so that you can hear how that sounds like. So this is like a stomp sound that I just like the vibe of it and the groove of it. So I just added it right there so that, you know, it can just be something I might use. I might use it or I might not use it. We'll see how the beat goes and how it fits. So this is how this sound is. I love how that sounds. That sounds really good. So I'm just going to mute it for now and just keep it there. Okay, so now back to what I was saying, that I have a chord progression that I want to use. So I'm just going to go to my files right here. And here's the MIDI chord progression. You can see it's from a beat that's called Magical D Progression. So I'm just gonna load it up here and just drop it in there. No tempo information because I wanted to conform to the tempo, which is 120 of this beat. So there's the chord progression right here. So if I play it back with just a piano on it, because I know I'm gonna use a piano, so I'm using this studio piano right here. That's the sound that I'm using. So that's the piano right there. So if I show you the notes, here are the notes of the progression right here. So I want to change this progression, right? So I'm just going to solo like this, and I'm just going to make this go before bars, because it was basically 2 bars, and then it would just consistently repeat like that. But I want to add more measures to it so that I can play around with the progression itself. So what I'm gonna do now is I have it in solo. I'm just gonna move these over like to here so that we extend this note here that was short. I like how that sounds. So I want this second chord to hold a bit longer. So I'm gonna move this one till here, and then I'm gonna extend this chord all the way like this, and then extend this last one till the end. This rhythm will definitely give me a really nice progression of a rhythm. So let's play it back and listen. I like that. Let's hear that with the drums and see how that sounds. I like how that sounds, but the one thing I want to change now that I have the progression laid out is the key. So I'm going to select everything and I'm going to drop the key, and let's see where I can put it to. I could maybe put it to an F. Let's see if I drop it down to a F, what's going to happen. Okay, I like how that sounds. I really like how that sounds. However, I have a problem that I'm noticing that happened since I transposed it and moved the key and everything. So this chord right here is not sounding right. Just take a listen again. You'll hear that it's not sounding right. That doesn't sound right at all. So I'm sure it's this note right here, this bass note. So I'm just gonna raise it up. Hey. That sounds much better now. I like how that sounds. That sounds really good. So now from this point here, I'm going to add another sound. So I'm just going to go into my unreleased samples right here, and I'm going to use a sample of this one shot, synth pluck storm. It's an Afro house one shot that I like to use in a lot of my Afro house sounds. So I'm going to load it up right here, and I'm going to create a MIDI region like this. So it's just going to be a repetitive sound. I'm just going to put a note right here, and I'm going to draw in all these notes. So now I can duplicate like that. Nice. And what I like to do when I have chords like this, I like to layer them, right? And create a nice layer. So I'm just going to duplicate this. Let's see if I can just do this. I can duplicate the instrument, and then I just copy this over. And I'm going to swap this for an alchemy like that. And then in alchemy, I am going to look for, maybe some pads. So I'm just going to come here and open the presets. Like around here, I'm going to go to basic and go to pads and look for a pad that will be a nice layer to this piano. I actually like the texture of that pad here, but I want to see if I can be able to control a filter on it so that I can play around with how bright it is, because it's very bright right now. So I can start off right here by 50%, and then it opens up later on. So let me basically automate that, because sometimes you can forget these things. So I'm going to loop it like this, and then I'm going to press A to show my automation. And then I'm going to come over to my controls right here and just wiggle the cutoff so that it can show up right here by the automation, and click once so that I can see it. And then I'm going to let it open up around here. So I added 3 points. So I want it to hold right there at the end like this so that it opens up right there at the end. So I'm going to come back here and just make sure that I name the regions by tracks, because you can see that the name here is not the same as the name of the sound. So I'm going to name by tracks like this. And then I'm just going to also extend the loop of the piano itself like this. So just watch the cutoff here. Now it's opening up nicely. Beautiful. I love how that sounds. That sounds so atmospheric. That sounds so good. I love the sound of that. So that's the layer that I want to add. And then now I want to also throw in a melody, right? But first, what I'll do, I think I'll layer again, maybe with an arpeggio, just to really add a nice moving layer. So I'm going to come back to basic here, and let's go to rhythmic. Oh, you know what? There's arpeggiated up here. So let's see what we can find. Let's try this 1970s analog arp. That sounds so crazy, bro. Like, that sounds so good. Like, I just picked that up in real time, as you can tell, and then I just used that, and it sounds so great. It actually just added like a really nice melody that I was not expecting at all. And again, what I can do is I can just try and see if I can play around with the filter as well as it plays. So let me just solo the sound itself. Ooh, I love that. I love that. So I'm going to go into automation right here. So I can see the automation has already been played with here, because I just copied the same chord progression here, and it copied over the automation. So I can just delete the automation. So I'm going to delete all automation, boom, and then it's gone. And then I can play with my own automation right here. So I want it to start here, and then it's going to pick up. So I'm going to select it like this and make sure I put a point where I want it to end, and then raise it up like this right there at the end, and maybe make the slope a little bit less right here in the middle so it doesn't pick up too quickly. And I want it to hold right there at the end. Ooh, I love that. Bro, when you do good sound selection and you're just vibing with your track, the track, it's like it makes itself, everything just comes together nicely. This is why I really love this process of making music. And it's so much fun. Like, I'm having so much fun. I love how everything is coming out. It's crazy. Let me just bring back, remember that sound that I told you, the stomp sound that I added over here. Let me bring that back so that we can hear how it's sounding right now. Now it's gonna come in. Hey. Okay, so this sound is working, but I'm gonna still keep it on mute right now and just keep it like that. But now we can try and add some bass. So my bass is gonna be simple. It's just gonna be basically a bass that's just going to follow the root note of the sound, because I don't want it to be too funky. I don't want it to be like a tech house bass where it's just holding one note and kind of like a rolling bass. This is going to be a more melodic bass that's just going to follow the sound. So I'll just copy to create the bass, this same chord progression here. And in this chord progression, I'll just take only the bass notes. Oops, that was a mistake right there. What? I don't know what the hell was happening there, but that wasn't intentional. So I'll just keep that. And then I'm going to go into Alchemy and just pick a bass preset. I'm going to pick a bass preset. So I'm going to go into bass and let's see what kind of bass we can pick here. Okay, that's too low of an octave. So I'm going to raise it up. Because I want a bass that sustains. I think we've got a winner of a bass here. I like this bass. I really like this bass, but I'm going to duplicate it like this so that we can save the preset, and then I'm going to mute it. And then I'm just going to look at maybe one more just to see if I might not find even a much better one. That actually doesn't sound bad at all. But you let me know down below, which one do you like? Do you like the heavy sub bass or the nimble synth bass? You let me know which one sounds the best to you. But for now, I'm going to keep the original one, the nimble bass. But I think I'll have to make a decision later on. But you guys can help me with this. Let me know which bass you think is nice, the first one that I made here or the second one. So I'm going to mute this one. And now what I'm going to do is the last thing, I'm just going to add a melody. So I'm going to again load up an Alchemy. Alchemy has really nice sound. And I've got this folder here by Hardwell here that I'm going to use. So let me just pick the smooth anthem. And I'm going to come here and create a MIDI region. So right now I'm just going to create a melodic sound. That's going to be like a melody here. I love how that sounds. I want to add a delay on that. So this is without the delay. And that's what the delay is just adding some sauce to, you know, to the sound nicely like that. And what I can do with the sound is I can open the controls here. And make it open up over time again, like we did with the other sounds. So I'm going to go into automation and again do the same thing and create an automation and let it open up like this, like right here almost at the end, and then it can close back down again. Ah, that sounds so great, bro. That sounds so great. That sounds so good. But let's take a final listen to the results so that we can hear how it sounds like. If you haven't subscribed by now to the channel, bro, come on, man. This music is sounding great. Please subscribe. Let's listen to it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this cook up, just making it all about the music and not yapping about music all day. I really enjoy making these videos because we vibe out together, we cook up together, and we do these kind of things. That's what I really love, to keep going on this channel here. And I hope I have your support by subscribing and joining the channel. You can join the channel also by supporting the channel by checking out the links and hitting the join button, and I'll really appreciate that. But thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in another video, my friends. I'm X and I'm out. Peace.